And King Charles served the Duke and Duchess of Sussex with a 6-month eviction notice on Frogmore Cottage back in January, and with just hours to spare until the deadline, the calamitous couple have finally shipped the last of their belongings back to California in a symbolic separation between the British monarchy and its runaway royals. Meanwhile, the figures for the most recent sovereign grant, the annual payment received by the royal family from the government, have been released, with the total for the 22 to 23 year remaining at £86.3 million, the same as the previous year. Now, that figure, I should point out, it would actually have dropped without the unexpected costs connected to the late Queen's funeral, proving that King Charles's slimmed-down monarchy is already making savings and costing, wait for it, just £1.29 per person in the UK. So what do you think? Are you happy spending that tiny annual sum on the royal family, especially now that Harry and Meghan aren't a part of it? Dan at gbnews.com. Vote in our poll at GB News. But to debate this now, I'm joined by friend of the Queen, our royal insider, Petronella Wyatt, and the actress and TV presenter, Jeni Barnett. So, Petronella Wyatt, I think actually this is one of the reasons why the Republican cause struggles so much. £1.29 for the royal family. That's a bargain, isn't it?
Yes, I mean, let's look at it from a business point of view. Let's say it was a company and you were thinking about buying shares in it. It's £1.29. That's annually a total of 500 million, but it's been calculated by independent financial institutions and Forbes magazine recently that it gives back £2.5 billion. That is a hell of a profit, £2.5 billion a year. I mean, that is the best deal in history. I mean, the stock market would go wild if that was a company. So is it value for money? My goodness, it is.
So, Jeni Barnett, this actually makes the country money. Why do you have a problem, Jeni, with paying your £1.29?
I don't think it's about £1.29. I think it's about a family who are actually, if you total everything up, are worth £37 billion. Now, that £37 billion, if it was pushed back into the country and that if we benefited from it, then I wouldn't have anything to say about it. But what do? They swan around, they do their stuff. I'm not asking for them to be shot or killed at the barricades. I think
that's good of you, Jeni.
Yeah,
that's good of you.
They do not swan around. They work a lot harder than you or I do, believe me. They are up at dawn every day.
If we were living in a country that was egalitarian, if we were living in a country that had an NHS that worked, the schools that worked, the houses that worked, that water worked, the utilities worked, I would say nothing.
But the two are not
is
connected.
a symbol of what we don't need.
They are giving back an enormous amount. They are putting back.
What do they give back?
£2.5 billion a year.
Well, they give their lives, Jeni, they give their lives. Petronella, just hold on one moment. Come on, you say what do they give back, Jeni?
That is ridiculous. I've just said what they give back.
They give their lives to this cause.
Annually £2.5 billion to the British economy, which is
in the 21st century a royal family.
So you're talking about something else. You're talking about hierarchies
and enormous amounts of our
Can I just stop?
Okay, don't talk over each other.
They are relevant.
Don't talk over each other, Petronella. I'll come to you in 1 second. But Jeni, can I just ask you a question though? Do you not accept that the royal family only remain in their role because they have the overwhelming support of the British public?
I don't know that they do have the overwhelming support of the British public. This British public will say and believe what the media tell them, and what's happening at the moment.
They will not.
Don't do down the public like that, Jeni. Jeni, let Petronella come in.
Public.
Can I just say something?
If we had a royal family like in Sweden or Denmark, places where they live their lives and they give back. William wants to give back. I accept this.
Let Petronella come in.
Excuse me, can you just stop yelling?
Okay, Jeni, hold on.
Charles is giving back. Charles is giving Balmoral back. Charles will be giving other palaces back. They are giving back. They have slimmed down the monarchy. I mean, this is a really streamlined, hard-working monarchy. They have said no slackers wanted here. And this is what they are doing. And if you were talking about relevance, well, you might as well say God is no longer relevant, because God...
Well, it isn't for a
medieval.
lot of people.
Yes,
we are
but
changing.
I don't
wait
know
a minute. Why we need
don't
them.
interrupt.
They give nothing back to us.
OK, don't talk over each other. Don't talk over each other.
Don't abuse people with religious faith. You might think it's... Don't abuse people with religious faith.
I'm not abusing them.
And
on your programme earlier on, you talked about freedom of speech. You asked me, do I think that we should pay £1.20?
Jenny, I love your freedom of speech. By the way, Jenny, the most recent polls show that 62% of the country are still in support of the monarchy. If you look and you break it down with the individual royals, Prince William, for example, has an approval rating that even the most popular politician in the world could only dream of. So they do have the support of the British public.
I love William, and I love what he wants to do to build social housing on his acres and acres of land. They have money. I don't think we should be giving them any more money. They have quite enough, thank you very much. And if they want to be a monarchy that represents their populace, then let them give some money back to us.
You don't understand that they do not own a lot of the palaces, most of the palaces they live in. It's owned by the country. So Buckingham Palace, which will be turned into a museum, it has to be kept up. It's not owned by the royal family.
And I actually think that would be a really good move, actually. Petronella, just quickly...
I think it would be a really good move if Buckingham Palace helped the homeless, which is what William's doing.
Jenny, you're not seriously proposing that Buckingham Palace gets turned into social housing, are you?
You're not being practical, and you're being over-emotional about it because you personally detest the idea of monarchy.
I mean, Jenny, can I just clarify? Are you seriously suggesting that Buckingham Palace be turned into social housing for the homeless?
Yeah, I think the homeless should be brought into that wonderful building.
It's not a wonderful building, Jenny.
And they should be given food.
It doesn't have...
And they should be given
Can I just say something? Because
we are living... No, listen, Petronella.
No, I want to tell you something about Buckingham Palace.
You make your final point, Jenny, and then you can make your final point, Petronella. OK, Petronella, you make your point.
I'm sorry, but I wouldn't put the homeless in Buckingham Palace because it's not good enough for the homeless. The paint is peeling off the wall. There is mould, there is damp. The plumbing doesn't work properly, believe me, because I know.
And Petronella, finally, quick word. Do you think it was the right decision for Harry and Meghan to be booted out of Frogmore Cottage, which was...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they were absolute parasites. I mean, they're an example of irrelevant royals who weren't, paying for themselves and...
Jenny, do you think that's fair enough? They didn't really deserve to stay in Frogmore Cottage, did they, after all of the damage they've done to the royal family?
I can't even begin to respond to that. I think maybe not. But if you've got empty houses with 100 rooms and you've got fields that can be used that are fields that are not being used for growing on, I think we have to look at the polarisation of our society.
No, I hear you loud and clear, and I think William...
Until everybody is equal, we have a problem. And I think
that sounds a little bit like communism to me, Jenny.
That
sounds a little suspiciously like communism to me. And we don't want to go down that path.
It's never worked. They've tried it. They've given up on that one.
Petronella Wyatt, Jeni Barnett, spirited stuff. I loved it. Who do you agree with? Is it right to spend £1.29 to fund the royal family? From Ken, this is via the email. Cost of the monarchy is peanuts compared to the cost of asylum seekers. Very good point, especially in light of today's news. From Ron, this is via Twitter. In terms of taxpayer money, I contribute a lot more to less important things. I am very happy to make this small but crucial contribution to our monarchy. And Veronica writes, after the coronation, our balcony looked a little too slimmed down. I'd rather pay a little more and have a few more working royals. William will need as much support as he can in the future. And you know what? I actually agree, Veronica. I thought it was really sad that we didn't see more members of the family up on that balcony after Trooping the Colour. Totally agree with you on that. Your verdict is now in. It's a split decision. 68% of you are happy to contribute just £1.29 a year to fund a slimmed-down monarchy. 32% of you not so happy to be contributing.